Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I do hope you've had an awesome week. You've been practicing like crazy, love what you are doing, and are ready for, I'm hoping, will be the final of our little kitty. So what I've decided is, having a look at this, I can't say that I'm very happy with the outcome that I have from the 7B black Mars Lumograph pencil. Not to say that it isn't effective at all, it is. It's just that I'm doing this on toned paper and I do want a whiter look. So what I've decided to do is to go to charcoal. I still have my precision mono round eraser. I still have my piece of kneaded eraser, which, as you know, is instrumental in what we're doing. Just going to get this onto the actual video itself. And then I'm going to go to a General's Peel charcoal pencil, soft, and try out this is a Koh Nui white coal pencil, which I feel is probably a white pastel inside here. So that's what we're going to be using, and just about everything I do is kind of experimental. That's what I absolutely love about art. So let's get into it. So this will be a mixed media drawing, obviously, because we're not using one medium, we're using a few. And I just want to start with the highlights here on the eye, and we are getting a really nice effect. So this is possibly what I will be going with on here. The only thing I find with these white pencils is that they pick up the medium underneath them, and you don't get as sharp a white as what one would like. But nonetheless, let's continue. Whoops. Let's put in, yeah, you see it's not... Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, we're getting a little bit of grey, but that's also fine. This is not entirely white. And we are getting the effect that we are looking for. I'm going to put in a bit more of these highlights in the eye that we can see on the pupil, not the pupil, on the iris. I get the two confused so much. It's just shocking, really. I think that is quite a good result. I am turning my pencil so that I don't end up with too much grey on it. And that result is actually quite awesome. So I think I will continue. I might even get out my white pastel stick. As you know, that is my favorite with charcoal. What are we getting here? Are we getting a grey kitty or are we getting a white kitty? That is the question. So I'm just going to put in some, and obviously the harder you press, the more pressure you put on here, and the less of the other medium that you have underneath where you are putting it on, the better the result. You can see here, I'm just going to put in some of these little white hairs that are in this area. I don't think it's too bad. I haven't put down the charcoal yet because obviously that will carry through into the white pencil, which we don't want. There you can see that it's picked up quite a bit of grey from the pencil, from that Mars black pencil, but that's also all right. I think that we are getting a really nice effect here. Probably better than what I expected, which is great. Yeah, you can definitely see that where I am putting it down onto straight flat paper, that I am getting a better result in terms of whiteness that I am looking for. And obviously, as the more, the more you kind of do it, better the effect, but I think that that's quite nice. Can't say I'm very happy with that area. I think what I might do is I might get my white pastel stick out, because that does give me a very, very white. So let me do that. Okay, so I have my white charcoal stick. I'm just going to try that. Yeah, you see that's a much better result. Might be a bit thick, but it does add a much whiter white. And that's actually not a bad thing that we have this on top of the other one, because we do have many layers. I mean, as we know, fur does have very many layers to it. So just want to get the white of this little ear, the little edge. It's just so beautifully white. Right, so done that. It's going to go back into the eye just to get a whiter white. And this can be blended out. One just has to be very, very careful that we don't blend it into a grey. And the other thing with these pastel sticks is that one has to be very, very careful that you get the pointy part or the sharp part into the area that you're wanting to put it. Otherwise, you end up with a grey, which is not really what one is looking for. Okay, this whole section here, I'm going to do like this. That looks very, very nice, I have to say. I've got used to the texture of this paper. In the beginning, when I first used it, I didn't like it at all. Didn't like that honeycomb kind of effect. But now that I've got used to it, I am enjoying it. It does take some time getting used to it if it's not what you expect, I have to say. When I first started using it, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this paper. But it is fabulous for skin, especially human skin, where it automatically gives you those pores that one has, everybody has. Okay, so I'm going to see if I use this over that, because I want to get that white. So I might have made him look a bit like an old grey kitty, but this experimentation is what makes it all worthwhile. Here's the black charcoal pencil, and you can immediately see that it gives a much better black depth to what we are trying to do here. Apologies if this keeps on moving. I am at the back of this sketchbook. So it is, it's not sitting on a flatness of itself, if you know what I mean. Yeah, there we go. That is what we are looking for. That I am very, very much happier with. And that's not to diss the pencil. The pencil is fine. It's just not as effective on this toned paper as what charcoal is. And the blackness that I want to get, you know, the depth of the black. Oops. There we go. Get some depth going here. So cute. I just love this kitty. It's got to be one of the cutest kitties I have seen. Okay, blending stump. We need it for around this area, just to get that tonal value in there. It goes up here. You can see that it's not altogether white on the edges of this cute little mouth. I've put some of that in, and then I'm just going to use my finger here for that white area, and then we can go back over it again with a pencil just to get those hairs in. So you can see that some areas look a lot grayer than others, purely because of what is underneath, what I've laid down prior. And you can see that the pencil's does pick up, or this white pastel pencil picks up what is underneath there. Which is quite interesting, considering that it is a black graphite. I do know that it does have a wax in it, so that you get that depth of black. They can't make it with, to get that depth of black, and also to get rid of the reflection, because as you know, graphite does reflect. Okay, I think we've got quite some nice depth there. What I'm not happy with is I'm not happy with these eyes anymore. I kind of feel they're a bit too grey, or I don't know. Just going to blend them out. See if that's better. It probably is. And then just put in a few of the highlighted areas on top of where I've put the white in, this white so-called charcoal pencil. Yeah, I think that is better. But now, as you can see, the outline of the eye is not as black as we want it. So I'm going in with a charcoal very, very carefully. As you can see, it's a very, very blunt point, just to see if I can pull out that kitty. Let's blend this out. Underneath the nose. And then this, it's like a bit of a shadow up the side of the nose. We'll put that in. Let's get this iris or pupil. You see, every time I confuse them. Okay, I think that that looks a little bit better. Get some better depth along here. This is definitely yeah, I think it's looking good. Not bad at all. Just putting this little black mark in. And I'm going to go over this with this charcoal, because this does disappear into the background, and this is the part of the photograph that I love, is how it just disappears into the background here. And we've got this beautiful, it almost disappears completely over here. And I'm going to put this in because I love these little toe beans. They are just so cute. Shadow underneath the little toe beans that needs to be there. Got that. We've got the shadow underneath these little toe beans again on the other side, so we'll get those in, and then we've got this demarcation here. Okay, so I might have done the wrong thing, and this is what the experimentation often gives me, is that I might have put the charcoal in too soon, and perhaps we'll end up with some of it in the little toe beans, but it's all right, because that's part of what this experiment is all about, is to see how things interact with each other. Goes under here. And there's this shape under there, and then we have this shape, and it actually literally goes into the background completely. So I'm going to blend this. And I'm going to lose some of the black, but that's okay. That's also okay, because I can always deepen it. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of softening the edges of where we're going to be going into. Because obviously it's fur that we are dealing with. Okay, let's have a look and see. So if I take the pencil and try not to pick up any of the black, So the shape I'm looking at isn't toe beans anymore, because I look at the shape and I don't look at what it actually is. So what happens is, because my brain reads it like that, I can't really see what I'm doing, and what I've done is 100%, because of how I've taught my brain to read it. And it's quite interesting because with having trained my brain that way, I can only really see what I've done after. Just changing the shape here because I have that wrong. And it's quite interesting because I literally cannot see that these are toe beans. I see them as shapes. And I love that I have trained my brain that way, because it helps a lot with everything that I draw. It does take a while. You have to trust yourself. And once you have, and you will see that your drawings are a lot more organic and a lot better. It's quite incredible, actually. So I'm just going to take this charcoal up here. You can see that there is a shadow behind it, or not a shadow, but you can obviously see fur is not just one color. Obviously, it's has a very, very in-depth sort of behind the scenes, underneath it, the skin and everything, as to what is happening. And the way that one can achieve that is by making sure that you have a background behind it, a color behind it that matches, you know, what you're seeing. That also takes a bit of time to read, but obviously everything is practice. I mean, it's not a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just all practice. It's very, very achievable. And once you do start seeing it, seeing everything as shape rather than, oh, I'm drawing a kitty, oh, I'm drawing an eye, or I'm drawing whatever it is that you're drawing. Once you start seeing the shape of it, your drawing just becomes something else. It's quite incredible. I'm just going over this again because this is very, very white, and I have inadvertently turned it grey from using the charcoal over it. So here we go. This bottom part is all blurred out in the picture, you can see. We don't really want to bring the eye too much towards it, because we want the face to be the shining star of what we are doing. So you want to make sure that the face is the focal point. Right, so there we are so far. It's quite an interesting experiment. I can't say that I would start off with the pencil again. I'm not really liking or enjoying the lack of black or having managed to sort of get the kitty's eyes. I'm just taking those out because they are the wrong angle. Managed to get his eyes looking as good as I would have liked. So yeah, back to the drawing board with that, that's for sure. But the experiment is good, which is what we want. And now we know. So there we are. Gone that far, and I'm not quite sure that I will carry on with it. Obviously you guys can, but I'm just not happy with the outcome of this at all. Sometimes that just happens, and perhaps if I carried on with it, it would be okay. But yeah, for me at the moment, I'm not happy with any of this. I don't like how it's gone grey. I don't like the fact that I haven't managed to get a proper focus on the eye area, and I'm also not happy with all these thin little hairs that are happening over here. And perhaps it's because I've used tone paper instead of using normal white. But as I said to you, experiments, this is what it's all about. And yeah, the experiment is not a bad one. It's pretty good. So maybe you like it. Perhaps this is something that you do and that you have enjoyed and that you are going to continue with. And yes, do so. This picture is on Unsplash. There's some beautiful photographs on Unsplash, and they are free for us to use, so you must use them. Keep the artists going, the photographers going. And yeah, I shall see you in the next video. As I said, I am busy packing, and I'm not quite sure when that next video will be, but please don't give up on me. I am going to be back, and I will be in full force. So please go through my 60 odd videos that I have on here and keep on practicing, and I shall see you as soon as I can. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to put in some white whiskers here and see if it makes me feel a little bit better about it. Not quite, but it might just turn something that I'm not happy with into something a little bit more acceptable. So these are all obviously organically done. As much as you can, put the pencil down as you saw me do it, push it into the paper and lift it out. And there we go, everybody. I do hope that this has given you some sort of inspiration. Perhaps you carry on and then you can post it and show me. That would be great. But enjoy your week. Bye.